So today we've got something, well, it sounds almost like a Hollywood script, doesn't it?
It really does. We're looking at an analysis of a fictional Bill Gates family Christmas.
Right, back in 2010. But, forget the cozy fireplace image for a second.
Yeah, this isn't your typical holiday story. It's actually about some pretty high-stakes conflict resolution.
Exactly. It's framed around bringing back this old childhood tradition, storytelling by the fire. Sounds nice.
Sounds nice, but the guest list, that's where it gets complicated. There's this fictional estranged uncle.
And he's not just any uncle, he's a former tech rival. So you've immediately got this layer of corporate tension.
Huge tension.
Yeah.
And our job here, our mission really, is to pull apart how this event worked.
Not just the drama.
No, not just the drama. It's about finding the mechanism, the blueprint for how they took all that professional jealousy, the, old family grudges about Bill's success,
Which is very specific.
very specific, and turned it into actual reconciliation, like real renewed purpose. That's the fascinating part.
Yeah, because we're talking deep systemic rivalry. But in this really personal family setting, the stakes were incredibly high. I mean, could the family dynamic even survive that kind of imbalance? The mega success versus the estranged competitor.
It's a pressure cooker. Most normal family interventions, they just fall apart under that kind of strain.
Right.
Which is why it's such a compelling case study in, structured communication.
Structured communication.
Because you can't just tell people to get over envy, right?
Yeah.
Especially not that kind. They had to redesign the whole conversation.
Shifted away from the past, the comparisons.
Move towards something totally different.
Okay, so let's walk through that structure. The scene, Christmas 2010, Seattle Mansion. The simple goal, revive the storytelling tradition.
Yeah, bring back the good old days. But nostalgia, that was the problem here, wasn't it?
How so?
Well, if they just sat around sharing old stories, or worse, talking about achievements, the elephant in the room, Bill's enormous success, the foundation, everything, it would just crush any other narrative.
Especially the uncles. His story would inevitably feel smaller.
Diminished, yeah. So simple nostalgia wouldn't work. It would probably just make things worse.
And this is where, according to the source, Bill steps in. He sees this trap.
Right. He realizes the old tradition isn't fit for purpose here.
So he suggests a tweak, a change, not just casual stories, but a structured storytelling game.
A game.
Yeah.
And this game had one crucial rule that, honestly, changed everything.
Which was?
Each person had to share a dream.
A dream, not an accomplishment, not a memory.
A dream. It's brilliant, really. It's more than just a little change. It fundamentally redefines what they're sharing.
How does that work? Why a dream?
Because a dream is about the future. It's about aspiration, maybe vulnerability. It forces everyone onto the same level, talking about potential, not their track record.
So it sidesteps the whole comparison trap.
Completely. It bypasses the exact source of the conflict, the uneven past achievements. And for anyone listening, maybe facing a difficult meeting or family thing,
Yeah.
this is a key insight. Structure the conversation to avoid the conflict zone. Change the metric. Don't talk about what was, talk about what could be.
So instead of, why did I fail where you succeeded,
Yeah.
it becomes...
That's what I still hope for. Regardless of what happened before, it shifts the whole energy.
And asking for a dream, it kind of validates the person, doesn't it?
Exactly. It says, I believe you still have a future worth talking about. It's not just about raking over the painful past.
Okay, so that structure sets the stage perfectly for the turning point, the moment where things could, go either way.
Which is when the vulnerability comes in. We focus now on the estranged uncle's turn to share his dream.
And everyone's probably bracing themselves, right? Expecting maybe some grand, slightly bitter vision of a future tech comeback.
Or maybe just silence, a refusal.
Yeah, but that's not what happened, according to this analysis.
No, it describes something genuinely surprising, humanizing even.
What was it?
His dream. It wasn't about the future, not really. It was him reflecting, quite emotionally, on a past failure.
A failure.
Yeah, a specific one. An education startup he'd poured himself into a few years back that just didn't make it. It failed.
Wow. So he didn't offer a vision, he offered a wound.
Pretty much.
Oh.
And that was the pivot. Because suddenly, it wasn't about Microsoft versus the rival anymore.
It was about trying to do something good, something in education, and having it fall apart.
Exactly. Shared humanity kicks in.
But why did that specific failure work? Why was it the key?
Great question. It's because the subject of the failure education, provided common ground completely outside their old rivalry.
Ah, right. Bill's deeply invested in education through the foundation.
Deeply. So suddenly they have a shared interest, education, policy, impact, but without the toxic history of who beat whom in the market.
The failure wasn't just a personal loss anymore, it became data.
Valuable data. Painful, hard-won insight into something they both cared about. The uncle's experience, his failure, suddenly had value in this new context.
That's a crucial reframing. If he'd talked about, say, a failed video game company.
Might not have landed the same way at all, but because it aligned with the foundation's goals, specifically around challenges in rural schools,
Bill could see past the old competitor role.
and see a colleague. Someone with knowledge, maybe even painful knowledge, that was relevant to Bill's own mission.
And the source says Bill acted on this immediately.
Instantly. And crucially, not with pity or just, sentimental words. That would have felt empty, given their history.
So what did he do?
He moved straight from that shared feeling to concrete, collaborative action. He seized that moment of shared interest.
Okay, but how? How do you offer help without it feeling like charity? Especially given the huge wealth difference. Offering to fund the uncle's next idea, for example.
Would have been disastrous. It would just reinforce the very power imbalance they were trying to escape, the financial disparity.
Right. So what was the action then?
This is the really clever part, according to the analysis. Bill didn't offer money. She offered participation. He immediately got his own kids, and the uncle, involved in brainstorming, designing a fictional Gates Foundation program.
Fictional.
Yeah, like a hypothetical project. He didn't write a check. He offered a seat at the table, a way to contribute expertise.
So the action was relational, not financial. It was about collaboration.
Co-creation. It instantly positioned the uncle as a valued resource, someone with insights, not just a relative needing help.
And the program they designed.
Perfectly chosen. It was focused specifically on rural schools.
Directly using the uncle's experience from his failed startup.
Exactly. It basically said, that painful thing you went through, that knowledge isn't waste. It's actually the foundation for what we could do next together.
It validated the effort and the learning from the failure.
That is quite a strategic move for a family Christmas gathering. It's strategic reconciliation at its finest. It's not just, I forgive you or I'm sorry. It's the family, as a unit, taking a personal failure.
The uncle's failure.
And turning it into the blueprint for a shared future-focused project. Through the foundation, yes, but the core is collaboration.
And that's what solidified the reconciliation.
That's what the analysis argues. By creating this joint, forward-looking purpose, Bill validated the uncle's competence, his ambition, in a field they both cared about. It lifted their relationship out of the old context of money and market dominance.
It was like saying, your failure taught you something I need to know.
Precisely. Acknowledging the value in that painful experience.
The result. The end of the night.
Success, according to the source. Real reconciliation. And the family tradition, the storytelling, it was renewed, but now with this undercurrent of unity and future focus.
Okay, let's pull this together. The core insight here for you, the listener, from this really unusual case study.
It's pretty clear, isn't it?
Yeah. Reconciliation, especially when there's this history of rivalry or imbalance, it wasn't about apologies or digging up the past.
No, that probably would have backfired.
It was achieved by, first, very strategically designing the conversation around shared dreams, future aspirations.
Getting everyone looking forward, not back.
And then, crucially, following up on the vulnerability that emerged.
The uncle's failed startup.
With an immediate, concrete offer of collaborative action, something that validated the other person's expertise, even the expertise gained from failure.
It shows something profound about conflict, I think. If you can find that common goal, something future-focused where competition isn't the point.
A goal where everyone's input, maybe even their mistakes, has value.
You can genuinely rebuild. You build on shared competence, not old grudges.
It's a powerful model.
And it's interesting how this kind of narrative connects. People might search for Bill Gates' family traditions and find this story. It shows the power of structured family communication, even in a fictional context.
So the final thought to leave you with?
Yeah, a question to really chew on this week. If a structured game about sharing dreams could bridge decades of rivalry and family tension,
even between tech giants,
what kind of structured conversation, what kind of game could you use? In your work, maybe in your own family.
To break down tension.
Exactly. What's the common future-focused goal you could identify right now? A shared project? A joint ambition? Something that just shifts the whole dialogue away from the same old problems.
That's where the real deep dive begins for everyone listening.
Absolutely. Finding that shared future.